Hello, parents. This is Mr. Ng, your child's sixth grade math teacher. Typically, we would have a curriculum night at the beginning of the school year in September where parents can come in, some sort of meet and greet, and ask the teachers any questions, and the teachers can introduce the course, the topics, supplies, grading policy, so on and so forth. This year, we don't have that. So I'm going to do what I did last year, which is to make a video for all of you and talk about those kind of things. And so I'll try to keep it under 10 minutes. And so, yeah, let's go. All right, so hello there. It's Mr. Ng again. So let's talk real quickly about several topics. Okay, so again, I'm Mr. Ng. This is my 18th year teaching and my 8th year or 9th year at MS51. Okay. And I've been teaching sixth grade. It's my third time teaching sixth grade, so I know the curriculum pretty well here. Let's move on. All right, number 2, goals and challenges. So this is huge. This year, the challenge really is trying to identify the gaps in a students' skill set as far as math is concerned, because we have students who have not walked into a school building in 18 months, and so you can kind of see where the ups and downs could possibly be for that. And so, having said that, I'll just come out and say it is that we're gonna start off relatively slow. Relative meaning compared to years past. All right, we're gonna start pretty slow with the curriculum. Now, having said that, we will definitely complete the curriculum by the state test, all right? So in my 8 years here, I've never not finished the curriculum by April. So there are things that we could do later on, probably starting in December, all right? So let's rewind a little bit. So I would think that the first 3 months of the school year, I'm going to go relatively slow because I need to identify what the gaps are for each of the students and what skills they need to learn, and then come out with some sort of remedy to help, them close the gap. It could be coming in the morning for extra help, coming to lunch for extra help, or somehow for me to make more videos that would help them with very specific skills, and or finding resources kind of outside the classroom, all right, something online, maybe a video or course or worksheets, packet, that sort of stuff. All right, so that's what I'm gonna take the first 3 months doing, and I want to see where everyone's learning gaps are and try to fill that gap. And also, this is fairly typical for sixth grader, is that they need to get used to the school. They're not only that some of them have not been in a school building in 18 months, is that some of them, all of them have never been in this school before. So they have to get used to the layout of the school, where the rooms are, where their teachers are, getting used to having lockers, going outside to eat lunch, finding friends and all that stuff. So I usually tell the parents the same thing for the first 2 or 3 months. Just get used to the school environment. All right, so that's what we're looking at. So the course. All right, so the grades in the first marking period, because of what I said, all right, I don't know what the grades are gonna look like. I'm gonna suppose compare it to the rest of the year, it will be somewhat lower. All right, only because it's gonna take me time to not only see the students work in class, but actually look at their first quiz, and then really the big one is looking at their first exam that they take. Then I think after that, but that won't be probably another month, at least another month from now, if not 6 weeks. So that would give me time to just take a long look at their skill set and then come up with some sort of remedy for that. All right. So that means the marking period 2 and 3 grades should be higher, if not substantially higher. All right, and that always happens. The state exam, you might want to write this down. The state exam, let me use my highlighter. The state exam this year, it's on these 3 days, all right, for math. All right, Tuesday, April 26th to Thursday, April 28th. Now, typically, we don't use all 3 days, not in the past few years. We usually pick 2 of the 3 days to administer the exam, and then we use the last day as like a makeup, for students who are absent during those days. All right, okay, what else? So, hold on, let me make sure I don't repeat what I say too much. Okay. So the way we're gonna do grades in class is I'm gonna send you the Excel spreadsheet that acts as a grade book, and to send you that every 3 weeks. So I would think that by the time you're watching this video, it would be another 3 weeks before I can send you the students' grades, because it was so early. We haven't even taken a quiz yet. So I have to compile enough classwork, homework, and quizzes and exams to show you their first grades. Otherwise, it's not indicative of their abilities or performance in class whatsoever. So that's gonna take a little bit. Some of you are not very much used to reading an Excel spreadsheet, so I will send a video. So when I first send the grade book out in 3 to 4 weeks, probably, I will attach a YouTube video that I made about 10 minutes long that kind of briefly goes over the Excel spreadsheet, all right? Specifically as it relates to the grade book, okay? Let's see. Let's talk grading policy, all right? Oh, by the way, so if you somehow got a hold of this video without sending me an email as part of the student's first homework assignment, please do so, okay? So this is my email. So you can email me there with your email info, and then I could give your student credit for the first homework, and it also allows me to communicate with you, all right, in the future. If you've emailed me, all right, which is why you can watch this video, the student, so for the grade book, I don't use names. So when you see the grade book, all the names are erased, and what's left there is their ID number, not their official school ID number, the OSIS number, but it's a 4-digit number that I randomly generated. So that way, you can see your child's grade without anyone seeing your child's grade. All right. Let's see. Let's move on. How are we doing on time here? By the way, it's a little bit early in the morning. It's like 7 something, 8 o'clock in the morning. So I might not sound as enthusiastic as I would like. Okay, all right. Now, this is the pacing calendar. Okay, so I think starting next week, not starting next week, oops, I'm making this on like September 22nd. So that's why I'm kind of trying to, yeah, all right. Anyways, so Unit 1, factors and multiples. Unit 2, fractions, and Unit 3 of decimals. Those things all have one thing in common, which is the multiplication table, actually. So one of the things that I'm a little slightly concerned is, even after the first 2 weeks of school, I see some students use the multiplication table in the back of their notebook. And that, in the 6th grade, that's really not a thing anymore. They should know the multiplication table inside out, all right, left, right, and center. So they should really know that. So for the first couple of homeworks, I'm probably going to have them work on that, all right? We're going on Delta Math, by the way, this year for homework. All right, and they have a timer, they have a timed activity for the multiplication tables, which I think will do wonders for them, all right, as far as just trying to, kind of get up to speed on where they're supposed to be. Before I keep going here, I also want to state, so part of the goal for this year, really, as their math teacher, is to get them ready for the 7th grade. So whatever gaps I have to help them fill, I'll fill the learning gaps. But at the same time, I want to just work fast enough at the end so that they'll be ready for 7th grade, because we all know that in the 7th grade, the state exam does count a lot. So I think that's important. Okay. Okay, let's move on then. Unit 4, all right, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the ones that are in blue here that I've checked off, they're all the topics before the state exam in April, all right? And then these 3 topics are all actually 7th grade topics. So I want to get to that point where they're on solid footing when they get to the 7th grade, all right? Some of you, meaning like if I've had a sibling before, have asked me about review. I don't review right before the exam. I'm just not a big fan of sitting around for like a month and just going over. Just, like this is not some sort of like cram course for that sort of stuff. I usually do the review at the end of every unit. So the story is kind of coherent and complete for every unit. So meaning, if we're doing factors and multiples, we'll start off with the very basic, and then eventually we'll graduate all the way to some of the tougher state exam questions. All right, I think that's a much better way to review for the exam. All right, so we do review. All right, long story short. Okay, let's move on. How are we doing on time here? 10 minutes already. Okay, all right. Okay, grading policy, planning and participation. So that's the bell. So the department citywide have changed the grading policy. All right, the verbiage, at least as far as I know. All right, so these are the 3 categories: planning and participation, 2 response to feedback, 3 skills and standards. Now, I read the tea leaves, I meditated on it a bit, and my interpretation is that planning and participation, that sounds like classwork. All right, and for response to feedback, I think that means homework, because it might be something like, how does the student respond to my lesson or feedback on my lesson, all right? And that will be reflected in the homework, so that's 25%. Homework is 4 times a week, okay? And I also want to let you know, if the student missed 4 homeworks in a row, meaning 1 week's worth of homework, I'm going to contact you guys and have your student come in at lunch or come in the morning to complete the homework, okay? The homework, as light as the homework can be sometimes, it's still absolutely paramount for them to do the homework. They have to do the homework for 2 reasons. One is it just lets them, have some review, quick review, like a 10-minute, 15-minute review when they get home. And also, it is for them, it's 25% of the grade, right? So even if they get 100 here and 100 here, if they don't do any homework, the highest grade they'll take home is 75, and that's not good, right? So, okay, last one, skills and standards, that's exams and quizzes. All right, that's 50%, okay? Again, all right, I get this question probably once or twice in my time here at 51 about the Excel thing. I'm using Excel, all right, not Pupil Path. All right, because Excel allows me to do several things, all right? It allows me to predict future averages, meaning if a student, let's say the student got a 90 and an 80 on the first 2 quizzes, and they want to know what happens if they get 100 on the next 2 quizzes, I can just put that number into the spreadsheet and it'll tell me that within 5 seconds, all right? So other platforms can't do that. Also, if a student, wants to know, hey, if I have right now I have a 93 average, what can I do to raise my average to a 95? I can also say the same thing. So it does do that very well. The spreadsheet is also a calendar. So it shows you all the off days that we have, all the exams, when the report cards are distributed. I think it's just a very comprehensive thing that, again, other platforms simply cannot match. Okay. It also allows students to be more familiar with the Excel spreadsheet, because believe it or not, most people who, in the working world, like you and I, people still use Excel spreadsheets, all right? And it's very important for them to have that data skill, all right? It's still extremely important. So I would like to familiarize students with at least being able to read Excel spreadsheets starting in 6th grade. Okay. Google Classroom itself cannot determine grades. What I mean is sometimes students hand in blank work on Google Classroom, and on the website, it will show them as complete, but when you open the file, the paper is completely empty. All right. So students took them like 3 months to figure that out. All right. So let's see. And I think this is the last one, maybe the most important thing is I don't think sixth graders. All right. Let me put it in a way that's. I think sometimes students, especially the younger students, when they see grades on an online app or platform, let's say they got like a 90 and a 90 on the first two exams and they get a 70 on the next exam, they tend to look at that grade as if that's their report card grade and that grade is gonna stay with them forever and ever. And that is simply not the case. All right. So first of all, if they have a poor grade on an exam or quiz, they could retake it, or I can have some sort of conversation with them, right? Whereas a number on an app that they see at home when they get home doesn't offer them anything. Okay, so because I can also offer let them retake the test, have them come in for some extra help, and then let them retake the test, or if they're missing homework, things like that, like things that a teacher and a student can sort out before that grade is entered. So, and I think seeing the grades every 3 weeks is perfectly fine. By the way, if you guys ever want to know the grades on a Friday, whenever, so on some random Friday, or a student wants to know their grade on a random Friday, you can just find me. It's not the hardest thing. Okay? All right, let's see. That explains that. Supplies. This is optional, but it's nice to have their own calculator because starting at the midpoint of this year and almost all of next year in 7th grade, they're allowed the use of this calculator. Okay, so it's nice to have their own calculator and allow the use of it on the state exam. We don't have a textbook, all right? We used to. I only use it for homework. Homework's all online now on Delta Math, so we don't have a textbook anymore. All right, let's wrap this up. So, I really, really sincerely hope that you find this video helpful. If there are any questions, please email me. I'll be more than happy to, expand on whatever I've said in this video. You can also find me, all right, at this email. This is the email that I have for parents, okay? And so if you want to email me, go ahead. If you want to set up a, phone call, just email me. We can set up a time. We can talk that way. If you want to visit the building, I don't know what the rules are concerning parents coming into buildings right now. But if you would like to see me in person, just email me. We could try to schedule a time. I'll let the school agents know, and then you can come in and we can have a conversation. Okay, so let me stop here, all right, because I feel bad this has gone on for so long. All right, okay, thanks for watching. Have a good day. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.
OMG, that was so good.